Hey.
Welcome, Bronco Nation, to the Bronco Nation Updates post-game show. We just saw the Broncos win Nevada 24-3. The Broncos are now 6-2, 4-0 in conference. I'm your host, Nick Wade, here in Boise in the Blue Vision studio. I am joined by Sam Gillette of Sam Talk Sports. Hello, my friend, and how'd you like that one?
That was atrocious offensively. If it wasn't for our defense, we probably wouldn't be as happy right now. but we got out of Reno with a W, and like Coach Danielson said at the end of that game, it's hard to win college football. So getting a W in Reno, I'll take it.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. Kind of frustrating, to be honest. All the things that I was talking to Kevin Miller on his show this morning, the what ifs, were kind of playing it into Coach Choate's hand there. So, I'm very impressed by the secondary. That was really one of our strengths this game. So
yes, the secondary should have silenced any doubters tonight, because they are the reason Boise State won that game. Granted, the whole defense as a whole is the reason we won. And I got to give a shout out to Pop. He went to bed, but he wanted to say the Blue Crush showed up tonight. If you weren't here last week, he wants to try and get the Blue Crush thing going for the defense. So maybe it'll hit, maybe it won't. We'll see what happens. But during the Denver Bronco years, whenever they had that Orange Crush defense, the Orange Crush defense kept them in the game until the offense found their traction and such. So he wants to try Blue Crush. We'll see if it sticks or not. So there, Pop, I said it. Whenever you're watching this in the morning, you can't say that I didn't. So, but if it wasn't for that defense, if it wasn't for that secondary that really stepped up, granted it was a freshman quarterback, but we held him to, I believe, his second lowest total of the season. I think he had 121 yards his first start, and he had 144 tonight. But he had over 200 yards against New Mexico last week, so we kind of brought him down a peg. No, but 3 interceptions on him. He had 3 interceptions coming into the game, and we hung 3 on him today. Didn't give up a touchdown. Great job defense. If player of the game could go to a unit as a whole, I'd probably put the entire defense on there. But just an all-out performance on D. It was a clinic. So if it was defense showing up tonight like they did, this game probably is just about the same score but reversed, because our offense was just abysmal.
I was, as I was singing the praises to the secondary towards the end of the fourth quarter, I was like, wait a minute, I need to look at the stats. And the front seven did very well. Very impressed. I saw the freshman Roman Kaywood was in there, number 51. While he was in there, he made a great impact. I think with Zion Washington out, actually he was playing the edge, but that really that helped on that side that Zion's usually playing. So he was flying around in there, and very, very impressed. And like seeing some of the new guys. He's a redshirt freshman, and he made a good impact on that defense.
Yes. Another one that made a impact was McCoy with his interception as well. Sorry.
That initial interception by McCoy kind of set the tone, right away for the defense in that first drive by Nevada. And good thing because we really needed the defense, while the offense kind of sputtered, this, especially early in the first half. It really was that the defense that really kept us in there, and the defense just keeps on impressing me as we keep going week by week. So, great deal.
Yep. Offensively, it was good to see Louder back in there. I couldn't stand the way that the commentators were really emphasizing the T in Louter. That may be the correct pronunciation, but I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
But it was good to see him get some catches. I was kind of disappointed in Marshall with his drop passes that he had. A couple of them hit him right in the hands. Matson looked off all night long. But he did start rolling out to the left, which doesn't work for him. He needs to stick with rolling to the right. It works better for him, even if everybody knows he's doing it. Rolling to the left just did not work out tonight for him. I don't know what the deal was with the offense, if they just decided to hit up the casinos or something instead of come to the game. I don't know, but they weren't there.
Well, this game was, played in Nevada, and one of the most memorable games in Boise State history was in 2010, when Boise State was ranked number 3. They had aspirations of being looked at as possible national championship contender. You had Kellen Moore, you had Doug Martin. And, he had a whole host of stars like Titus Young and Austin Pettis and Billy Wynn and all sorts of NFL kind of talent. So the Broncos came in to Nevada with heavy hearts after the passing of Doug Martin. So we're going to take a quick break and just kind of remember Doug, and really glad that Boise State hung in tough this game and did it for Doug. All right. Again, really glad that the Broncos, despite their struggles on offense, found a way to beat the Wolfpack, and they covered the spread. I think it was 20.5 point. So they did it for Doug, and I'm glad that they did it with Kaepernick in the crowd.
Yeah, Capper. Never mind. I'm going to say that we're live.
So why don't you give us the stats?
Yes, let's do stats. Game stats presented by KIDO Talk Radio 107.5 FM 580 AM and Blue Elevation, elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. Find out more, visit www.blueelevation.org and catch Nick Wade on the Kevin Miller Show over the air or through the KIDO app every Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. The Boise State won a hard-fought defensive battle, 24-3. They had 308 total yards, 174 passing, 6.2 average yards per pass. Only the one interception, 134 rushing yards, 2.9 per rush, 22 first downs back in the win column on first downs after losing it last week. And then only 2 penalties for 10 yards. Really, really good to get the penalties under control. 34-19 on the time of possession for Nevada. Only 247 yards of total offense, 147 through the air, 3 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles, 100 rushing yards, 15 first downs, 8 penalties for 72 yards, 2 of which extended Boise State drives and allowed 7 points to be put on the board. So great turnout on the defense. And if it wasn't for the defense, I'll say it again, we don't win this game. Our only 174 yards through the air and 134 on the ground. It's hard to win games with those kind of numbers, and defense is the only way you do.
Yeah, and we did win the turnover battle 5-1, so that was another blessing for the team.
And that's something you talk about week in and week out. Winning that turnover battle is key to winning the game.
Yeah, yep. When you do that, then you can have, you can survive a motivated Nevada Wolfpack team with a sputtering offense. So that really helped us.
Yep. All right. Moving right along. Maybe. There we go. All right. Your Loretta's Music Studio and Creations and Wreaths, making music and crafts together. Find out how to contact Loretta Dorn for all your music and craft needs at bronconationupdates.com/directory. Your Loretta's, I always want to say Loretta Lynch. Your Loretta's Music Studio Creations and Wreaths, offensive player of the game, is Sire Gaines. 17 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, average 3.6 yards per carry, 13 for the long. He really, not a whole lot of stats on offense to talk about, but he got into the end zone. Riley got into the end zone late, but Gaines, he set the tone with his physicality. Granted, he was stopped a couple times on the goal line, but he did not let the early stop ruin his late success to get into the end zone. So Sire Gaines is your Loretta's Music Studio, Creations, and Wreaths offensive player of the game. And I put the wrong thing. Loretta's on defense. So the organized experience, helping people gain freedom by preparing, decluttering, and organizing. Let Stacey McLaughlin help you with all your organized needs. For more information or to schedule your organized experience, call Stacy at 208-720-1738. Again, that's 208-720-1738. Your organized experience, offensive player of the game, Sire Gaines.
Have some patience with Sam. It's 1:00 over in
Yes.
God's time over there in Central Time
Yeah.
Zone, so it's late.
Yeah, that's what happens whenever you have to stay up late to do all this. Especially, it wouldn't be so bad. Last week wasn't horrible, or not last week, the week before wasn't horrible because it was a Saturday game. I had to work down in South Texas this morning. Then I have 4.5 hours home, and then do this. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on Sire Gaines this week and his performance, Nick?
I thought he did well. I really don't. I think as for the running game, I think the play calling didn't set him up for any success this week.
Yeah.
I think you could have kind of got a little bit more creative and maybe ran behind the tackles a little bit more instead of up the middle on a lot of those. As we could see, Nevada was very motivated. They honored the 2010 team before the game. You know, they have an ex-Bronco, actually 2 ex-Broncos on the coaching staff with Coach Ione and Choate. Choate's got a chip on his shoulder. I think I would have liked to have seen more behind the tackles, or even some sweeps, or even, you know, mix in a misdirect, you know, especially since they were pretty much stacking the box. And in that case, you know, you do run Sire Gaines. You know, if they're going to stack the box, send Sire Gaines. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Dylan Riley and, you know, running to his strength, you know, making a crease along the outside. And then, because it would have been a whole different game if the running game, the rushing game was set the tone right from the beginning. And to do that, you know, first couple times you see that they're stacking the box, you know, hit them with the sweep, with the jet or something like that. So, and then, you know, that basically kind of made them one-dimensional, took kind of that play action pass out of the mix, and that's really what we've been doing that has brought some success the last couple of weeks leading into this game. But you got to give it to Coach Choate for exploiting, you know, our sputtering offense and putting us in the position where you know, it just wasn't working as well as it has been.
My dad made comment that maybe Boise State should use Sire Gaines early on, really do the ground and pound and tire down the defensive line, and then come in with Riley and Sherrod afterwards with their quick and shifty after the line's been pounded on with Gaines, and not let Riley and Sherrod just shred them up, get those long runs late.
Yeah, and I think what they started off early pushing, you know, Dylan in the center of the line right up front when they're stacking the box. It's like, all right, you know, maybe you know, really pivot, you know, and counter that like quickly. You got to have some flexibility in that, and I think if they would have done that, and you know, it just seems like the teams that aren't stacking the box, then they're throwing in Malik Sherrod to start the game, or Sire Gaines, and they really need to find. They need to hit the hot hand, but they need to start that the running back that's going to bring him the most strength. And in this game, it should have been Gaines, where in the past games you could have started out with Dylan Riley, and he probably would have had about 250 yards last game. So
that's a blessing and a curse having the stable that we have, is trying to figure out in a timely manner which running back's going to have the hot hand.
Yeah, but I think fundamentally, I think, you know, they should have kind of went away from the box and kind of
Yeah.
did some misdirects or some sweeps and behind the tackle.
Yep. Well, we're going to do this again. The Organized Experience LLC, helping people gain freedom by preparing, decluttering, and organizing. Let Stacy McLaughlin help you with all your organizing needs. For more information or to schedule your organized experience, call Stacy at 208-720-1738. Again, that's 208-720-1738. The Organized Experience offensive player of the game is Sire Gaines, decluttering the chaos on his way to 17 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, 3.6 yards per carry, and a long of 13. That's your Organized Experience offensive player of the game. Now, your Loretta's Music Studio creations and wreaths, making music and crafts together. Find out how you can contact Loretta Dorn for all your music and craft needs at bronconationupdates.com/directory. That's bronconationupdates.com/directory. Your Loretta's Music Studio creations and wreaths defensive player of the game is Jeremiah Irby, who had a crafty game with 4 tackles, all of them solo, and the 2 picks that are really more impressive whenever you see that they were drive killers. They were scoring drive killing picks and really nails in the coffins for Nevada. That's your Loretta Music Studio creations and wreaths defensive player of the game. Well deserved, Nick.
Yeah, I thought Jeremiah did really awesome. It was great to see him doing more press coverage and then playing the damn ball, man. He played the ball, and I mean, look what happens when you can play a nice press coverage and you play the ball. He came away with, like you said, 2 they probably would have been scoring drives. He killed them with those 2 picks, and the one was in the end zone, which was not a doubt a score driving kill. So yeah, well deserved. There was some other notables on defense that did great, but really he totally deserves it, because without him, they might have had another 14 points on the board.
Yep.
What did you think?
I agree. He had that very first interception he had, beautiful. He ran the receiver's fade route that he should have ran, and just that's not an. I was a receiver. That's not an easy catch to make, especially when you're on defense and don't have hands, and that's why you're on defense. But it was an impressive catch, and he held on through the ground contact and everything. It was me and my pop were sitting out here watching it and just like, that's how you play the ball. That's what you do. That's how you play defense. Of course, he knows how to play defense, but you know how fans get. But you mentioned other notable performances. Benefield, he had 6 tackles, 5 of them solo with a tackle for loss. Derek Ganter Jr., who almost was defensive player of the game till Irby decided to go off. 6 tackles, 4 of them solo. That's his most this season. Notriana had 5 tackles and a tackle for loss and a pass deflect. Phelps had the 4 tackles, 3 of them solo, and the fumble recovery. Mario McCoy had 3 tackles, all of them solo, and he also had his pick. I think that's 4 picks on the season for him, 2 of them which were pick sixes. JVM had 3 tackles and a half a sack. So there's just so much. You had Feely had a half a sack. You had Williams and Latu both with a half a sack. Then you had Phelps had his fumble recovery, and then on special teams, Tuioti had his muff punt recovery. Not necessarily a muff punt. Had the Peter call that wasn't listened to by Nevada, and that was probably one of the longest special team recovery conversations I've ever seen a referee make. But they got it right in the end. You could see on the replay that Tuioti had the ball and had it clear covered. They're pretty early on and was able to hold on to it through the scrum at the bottom. So really a great defensive performance. A lot more to talk about on defense than offense, but yeah, defensively it was a lights out performance. The secondary should be able to shut up any of the haters at least for another week. I found myself growing less anxious every time I see the ball up in the air for them long passes because they're actually playing like they're going to turn around and find that ball.
Yeah, they limited the Nevada offense to 147 yards, and so they're just continuing to improve week by week, man.
Yep.
I was gonna say that that muff punt, man, that was a strange one, and it took forever, and then they literally took it out of Toity's hands, and I was gonna say if you don't give that to the Broncos, there's a problem because you literally took it out of his hands after all of that. And he actually, when they showed the replay in slow motion, he was the first one that grabbed the ball anyway. So so very happy to be on the better side on the special teams, this time.
And that's something we talked about. That's something we talked about too, was special teams needing to step up, and we didn't give up any of the big plays or anything like that. And special teams, speaking of which, Boomer was 1 for 1 for 21-yard field goal there in the first half, and then he had the 3 extra points. And then our backup quarterback, Oscar Doyle, had 5 punts for 214 yards, averaging 42.8 per yard or per punt. 2 of them landed in the 20. Inside the 20, had a long of 48 and only 1 touchback, which should have been caught at the 1-yard line, but they let it bounce instead.
And we can't not mention he's fast growing to be one of the fan favorites, the Grizz.
Yeah. Yep.
He stepped up on that goal line and pushed Mad Dog right into the end zone, and so he's we had him. I was able to interview him on one of those media addresses, and he's just a good dude. He's what you call our kind of guy. He's willing to do whatever it takes. As you can see, he scored a touchdown a few weeks ago on that broken play on special teams, and then he's in there on a goal line formation, and he pushes Mad Dog into to score. So he literally will do whatever it takes to get a win, man.
Yep. And it wasn't your traditional tush push, but he made it the Grizz push. I think that's what we need to call it, the Grizz push.
Yep. Got it. I want more of that.
Yep. In fact, I think if there's anybody from the Boise State front office watching, I think we need to make that a thing, the Grizz push instead of the tush push.
Yep.
All right. Well, we will go to a quick break. We'll come back with our final thoughts and look ahead to next week and go from there.
Bronco Nation Live is brought to you by Blue Elevation and the Serving Bronco Nation directory. Hey, Bronco Nation, if you're looking for more followers, clients, or customers, check out ServingBroncoNation.com and get your business added to the directory. When you purchase a tax-deductible plan, you are investing in Boise State and getting access to millions of views throughout the year on the directory and the Bronco Nation network.
So you got to wonder how much of tonight's lackluster performance was looking ahead to next week against Fresno State, and then then we get a week off, a bye week, and then we hit San Diego State. San Diego State and Fresno State play tomorrow, and that one's going to be a good game. either one of those teams winning is going to help us out, but we almost want San Diego State to win so that we have them with a better record. They have the better resume right now than Fresno State. But you got to wonder, you think the team was looking offensively, was looking ahead to Fresno State, or do you think it might have been a combination of the news of Doug Martin, Fresno State on the horizon, has potential to be a trap game? What do you think was the cause of the lackluster performance tonight?
I think that we've been talking about this a lot, and that any of these games can be trap game. You got teams that are sticking around in the Mountain West after this year. You have teams that are going with us to the Pac-12, and so you got a combination of teams that want to pick us off because they're not going to the Pac-12, and you got the other teams that are going with us to the Pac-12 who want the title on the way out. I almost think, though, the vibe that I was getting in this game was, maybe a little bit of overconfidence. I do think that Nevada's front line did step up for the most part, and that kind of made us one-dimensional. There were some there were some ducks by Mad Dog, but there was also some drops by some receivers that were drive killers. So I think it's a few different things that were working against the Broncos, but the biggest vibe I have is maybe that they did get a little bit overconfident after that dominant win on the blue against UNLV. But I will say I think that we could probably look forward to the rest of these teams like Fresno State, San Diego State, to give the Broncos all that they got, because they want to win the title too on the way out.
Yeah.
I just think that we've been saying this, any one of these could be trap games. So they really got to focus on each game individually, as a team, do their job. But right now I have a lot of confidence in the defense, and they're doing their job.
Yep.
We need to see the offense do kind of the same and really, do the little things, attention to detail, catching passes before you're running upfield, stuff like that.
You got to wonder if the defense that we saw tonight and the defense we saw last week, if that was the defense that played against USF, got to wonder if that score, we may not have came out on top because our offense wasn't in it either. And our offense really hasn't been 100% for a few games now. Even against UNLV, yeah, they did great, but we really haven't seen that offensive outburst, full complete offensive game, I should say, yet, in my opinion.
If we would have had that second quarter offense, along with the defense we have now, both the USF and the Notre Dame game would be a lot different.
Yeah. Boise State is outscoring their opponents. I think 41 points or 17 points in the second half, outscoring their opponents. And they put up, 21 points in the second half today. So they're right there keeping up with their second half dominance. If we can ever get a first half put together, then things would be great. We'd probably be sitting undefeated right now.
Yeah, like I said, with the defense the way it is right now, this is what we've been talking before the season. Of that defense top 30, if you're gonna have a shot at win a bowl game or even the CFP game, you want to have your defense top 30. That's for sure. And they're making really good strides in doing that right now.
Yeah. Well, let's run through these one more time. Your game stats presented by KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM, and Blue Elevation, elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. Find out more, visit www.blueelevation.org and catch Nick on the Kevin Miller Show over the air or through the KIDO app every Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. talking Boise State's football. Put the right slide up. There we go. Boise State with 24-3 win tonight over Nevada. 308 total yards, 174 through the air, 134 on the ground, 5 total turnovers for Boise State, 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles, and only giving up the 1 interception. 22 first downs to 15 first downs, really dominating the first downs again. I don't think there's been a game this year, maybe early on, where we didn't get the over 20 first downs. I'd be anxious to see how we rank for first downs in the nation. I'll have to look that up. I'll have it for you. I'll try and find it for you anyway for the preview show. Penalties way down where we like to see them. 2 of them for 10 yards and
Nice.
34-19 time of possession. Really dominated. Only giving up 247 total yards of offense to Nevada. 147 through the air, only 100 on the ground, and only giving up 15 first downs. So it was really dominating performance on defense, giving our offense time to put a few drives together to really open this one up. So that is your KIDO, Talk Radio, and Blue Elevation team stats. So we're going to do this right this time. The Organized Experience, LLC, helping people gain freedom by preparing, decluttering, and organizing. Let Stacy McLaughlin help you with all your organizing needs. For more information or to schedule your organized experience, call Stacy at 208-720-1738. Again, that's Stacy at 208-720-1738. The Organized Experience. Offensive player of the game is Sire Gaines, who decluttered the chaos on his way to 17 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, averaging 3.6 yards per carry, and really put the Boise State on the board. I believe he had the first touchdown, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
He got us the lead. He got us to 10-3, and then we didn't have to look back.
Yep. It's always fun not having to look back.
Yeah.
Loretta's Music Studio and Creation Wreaths, making music and let's try that again. Loretta's Music Studio, Creations and Wreaths, making music and crafts together. Find out how to contact Loretta Dorn for all your music and craft needs at bronconationupdates.com/directory. That's bronconationupdates.com/directory. Your Loretta's Music Studio, Creations and Wreaths defensive player of the game is Jeremiah Irby, who had a crafty game with 4 tackles, all of them solo, and the 2 interceptions, the scoring drive killers. That's your defensive player of the game, Jeremiah Irby. Nick, do you have any final thoughts on the game?
Just it was frustrating as a fan to watch it because we know that the Broncos are capable of much better performance, especially on the offense than that. But as I said before, we met UNLV when they're undefeated. They're 6-0, and it's hard to win. In college football. So, the Broncos hung tough. They stayed in the game. They found a way to win. They covered the spread, and they did it for Doug. And so I'm happy that they got the win, and they're going to need to keep doing these kind of things, meeting that adversity and rising above it, and continuing to stack the wins if they want to change the path to the CFP. Right now it's a slim chance, but if they keep winning, that percentage keeps going up, and we can only hope that those other conferences cannibalize each other, and then after the dust settles and the Broncos continue to win and face that adversity, and that defense continues to rise, You can only set yourself up for success. So, but first they want to defend the Mountain West crown, and so that's number one in their book. So they got to keep winning.
Yep, and a win over Fresno State next week, a win over San Diego State 2 weeks from now, and then if either San Diego State or UNLV win out, then we could be facing either one of those two in the conference championship, and another win over either one of them will help boost us as well. AAC cannibalizes itself. That's pretty much the only conference we need to worry about. There is rumblings that JMU might, just because of the Kurt Signetti link, may get preferential treatment in the CFP if it comes down to that. So we didn't catch any favors from them by them blowing out ODU last week. So we'll see what happens. A lot of football still to be played. A lot of things can still unravel for a lot of different teams. We've seen it happen before, and it'll happen again.
Well, it's late, my friend.
Yes.
And I want to thank everyone who's been watching this show. If you're watching the replay, do us a solid, man. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@Bronco Nation Updates. That's really going to help us a lot. Go to the website, bronconationupdates.com. Click all the links, follow all the forms, help us rev share with the university. But really, thank you for watching our post game show. Look for the review articles and our preview coming next week for the Fresno State game.
Yep.
You have any parting words, my friend?
Just follow the YouTube channel. I don't even care if you follow me on social medias. Follow our YouTube channels. That's the main thing. We revenue share with the school, and it's more of we just share with the school because we don't really make a lot of revenue for us, but or for anybody really. You know what, Nick? I'm going to let you explain it all. You're better at it than me, and it's 1:00 and I'm rambling.
Yep, we get paid in our love for the school. We're basically volunteers, but everything we're trying to do is monetize all these platforms so that once they're monetized, we can share that with the rev share with the school, and it's a win-win. We get to cover Boise State, a place that we love, and then we get to kick the returns back over to the university that we love, and we get to play a small piece and building a championship caliber institution as we try to elevate the school into a Power 5 conference contender. So yeah, appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who supports Bronco Nation Updates and our nonprofit Blue Elevation. If you feel like giving, anything and everything counts. And once you do, you're part of the happy fam. It doesn't matter how much you kick over. It could be $1. We appreciate that as much as anything in the world. So I appreciate all your guys' support. And your Broncos are 6-2, 4-0 in conference. Still in control of their own destiny. Yep, they're bowl eligible and they're in control of their own destiny for the conference. So just keep on winning, Broncos, and Bronco Nation faithful will continue to support you at a championship caliber fandom. But until next time, thank you, Sam, for everything that you do. And thank you, Bronco Nation, the traveling folks that went to Nevada into enemy territory. Thank you for showing up and giving the fellows some support. But until next time, always bleed blue. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Hi, I'm Ron Dorn. I'm president of Blue Elevation. A lot of you have probably heard of it in other sites like Bronco Nation Updates. And I just want to talk a little bit about Boise State football and what we what we're trying to do to help move the team forward. It's a lot of fun to work with them, but as you know, with the upheaval in college football and the NIL money, we're always needing more, and we're trying to do that by giving more news to you than you can get in other sources, and events that you might be able to attend. And we would just love to see your support, additional support for Boise State, so we can take this to the next level, especially moving into the Pac-12. I see such a bright future for us by doing this. For those of you that are as old as I am, you remember when we had wooden bleachers and we did rodeos in the stadium, and we had good coaches and we were doing the best we can with what we had. These coaches need that continuated support to make it happen for us. You can see what we've done with what little we've had, but we really need the help, and we just need the commitment, and we need you to get involved with us to push the Boise State program forward. Again, especially going to the Pac-12, and especially the futures out there, and what the basketball team is doing, the women's softball team is doing, and some other sports that I follow. We just want to keep you involved and focused and helping us out any way that you can do that to support our university.